What's up, folks? I'm Odd, by the way, and holy sudden change of video quality, Batman! So I got the DSLR set up finally. It's not technically my camera, which was why I was hesitant to set it up for like permanent video fixture, because it's my brother's, but he hath given me permission to use it at my leisure because he doesn't currently use it, so yeah, I got like the whole like dummy battery setup, got the software and all that. So I got a nice like camera to work with for the videos, and I don't have to worry about its battery anymore. So I could probably record more traditional stuff without worrying about that too. But today we are going to venture back into the digital world and talk a little bit about kind of a mostly recent trend. I think that I'm pretty on par with it, probably a couple of months late. There was this thing going around the internet. I don't know if it was from an interview, I don't know if it was just like a long post or something like that, talking about how, because the initial assumption of anime characters in Japan is that they are based off of not Asian people, not Japanese people, but of Caucasian people. They started as some sort of like white caricature almost, and that could still be the truth, but one person posited that they were cats. So everybody was applying this cat face theory and found that it did create quite like reliable anime girls to some degree. So I thought that I would test it out for one with some of my animals and some other animals, and just to sort of like a live sketch, later rendering sort of situation, both to test out the camera and to, you know, have fun with a trend that I thought was cool. So at that, let's get me out of the way a little bit so that you guys can see what we're working with. So this is a collage of beautiful pets. A couple of them are the same, actually. So we've got two Tulsies. This is my Tulsi. She is my main kitty, I guess. I adopted her. She's about 3 years old right now. She's a big floof. She's a fabulous personality, as you can see. This is Callie. She's a bit more of the family cat. She's quite a bit older. We had, like, adopted her, basically, like, rehomed her from a family friend. She actually came to us declawed, so she's a little nervous around most people, which is why I don't have many pictures of her. But she's gorgeous, and she's super sweet. Then, of course, we got my brother's dog, Zero, who's posing face forward quite here. I figured that this would be a good pose to create a human character because it kind of eliminates the snoot factor. Although in that forced perspective, it might make the nose look quite large. And then, of course, I got two pictures of Grim. One from a couple of days ago as she plays behind the curtain, and one from when she was just a itty bitty baby. Look at her, she was so tiny. I couldn't get a good picture of her face because she was so far away, like she wouldn't come up close to anybody, because I found her in a garage. And she was all alone and scared, or she was just a little tiny, itty bitty baby. So, she's almost 6 months, or over at this point. 6 months old. She's going in for her spay soon. So, yeah, like I figured that we could sketch on some of these, and then I got some other animals that I thought would be suiting for this method. So I'm not going to be looking at the camera, but it's going to be within relative distance. So let's just start like sketching over this. I'm going to lower the opacity some. And the idea was basically that you're going to take what exists of the face here, right? And so you kind of use that general face shape. Tulsi has a very prominent face, by all accounts. You use that kind of general face shape and like where the mouth is and the nose to create the outline. Oh, this is gonna look weird. For our anime character. I don't know if you need to use like the exact face shape or if you just kind of like make the anime face around it. I guess we could try both methods. With the idea being that once you get everything kind of like out of the way, that it kind of looks like a person. I don't know if this is the case for Tulsi. Oh, she looks frightened. Like, it works, but she's very, like, I don't know, she's very long in this picture. But it does work. I mean, it does do something, so that's, or some degree at least. Now, Callie has a much rounder face, so I feel like she might be a bit more on the blueprint. So let me see if I can maybe do her. And then, yeah, you got your little anime bloop here, little mouth. Obviously, I don't have, like, the whole head shape, but she's got kind of a round head. Maybe it only really works from, like, facing directly forward, and you add, like, the lips in kind of a more natural way, I guess. Let's see that. See, that's cute. And ironically, these look a little less, I guess, a little less anime than I would expect them to. But they're cute. That's Callie's face. So it's not a perfect blueprint for the cat face situation here. But let's try Grim. Grim is obviously a bit smaller. Maybe her proportions are more attuned to the anime girl face. Again, I don't know if you're supposed to get, like, the head in there. I suppose you could, and it makes sense for the where the everything is. You know, they have very wide set eyes, my cats, so maybe it doesn't work perfectly with them. They look goofy. Oh my god. Okay. Let's try and, like, humanize the shape of the face like that. A little bit. Add some hair. She looks like a fish. Okay, baby Grim. Let's see if I can't. So this is a bit more, like, downcast. So maybe, possibly, we can get something a little bit more innocent looking, I guess. Oh, yeah, that looks cute. The nose is still a little far. But it is a bit better. It's definitely a little bit better in terms of, like, face shape. It's okay. Her eyes. I can't with her eyes. Those ears, like, that I drew in are too big. Oh my god. Oh gosh. It looks like a fish. So, I mean, our answer is that sometimes it works, unless your cat just has a very angular face. Or even then, like, if their eye size is just so small compared to their mouth, apparently, or something. I don't know. My cats have very wide eyes, apparently, though. Very wide set faces. But let's try this. So I know, like, hold on. Okay, so this is like her nose, but do I extend it to here if it's like pointed out like that? I don't. This definitely looks like it could be anime pose. You can see her eyelids here. It's fantastic. Okay. What's up, little? Kitten is still in here. She doesn't like being left out of the room. Oh, she's coming up. You come say hi? Come say hi at the camera. Grims, look at the camera. You're the star of today. Found her in a garage. Wouldn't come up to a living stall. Now look at her. Now look at her. She loves it when I cuddle her. She tolerates it when I cuddle her. I don't do it for very long. That is interesting. So maybe though if I bring this down and then I just sort of like, okay, connect it here. And then still keep up with the face loop. Yeah, that's something. She's very intense. But yeah, like she looks like kind of like one of those like bougie anime characters, you know? Also, now that we've done all the cats, let's see what Zero would look like as an anime boy or girl. So like, how do I approach this? Do I do like this, you think? Like a little... Yeah. And then... And then sort of like a... Obviously, the exact placement of the irises doesn't need to be the same, but this, for the sake of this, I think that is good. Alright, let's take a look at that. Yeah, that's not bad. Like, it again still kind of looks a little bit like a fish. But these are definitely some faces. These are definitely some faces. Like, maybe if I were to, like, just... make these eyes just a little bit bigger. Sort of map out. God, I'm trying to remember what this one reminds me of, this top one. It kind of reminds me of like a Tim Burton character, which we'll also get to. Hold on, I'm gonna let the kid know. So those are all of the pet sketches. Which I guess I'll come back to and render differently. But at the moment, you know, the one of Tulsi, like as I look at it, I'm growing to love this face shape. I'm really trying to remember what it does remind me of, because it's got a vibe that's like, I don't know. But I can definitely work with these. It's just silly. And then for the next one, I thought that I would try a fox. Because they also kind of got that anime vibe, don't they? And there's something between a cat and a dog. You know? But they've got that, like, little face. I'm sure that there are plenty of anime characters who have just been based, like, off of a fox's face. I mean, obviously, like, you've got Kitsune and stuff like that, very prominent in Japan. So, at the very least, someone's probably got a very characters probably got a very fox-like face when they want to invoke that vibe. And obviously, as humans, we also have that tendency to relate people to foxes. Just in general, so. Bring the cheekbones closer to the eyes. This is definitely still a very long face. I drew on the wrong layer! No! The humanity! I gotta erase it all. Oh. Oh gosh. Dummy dumb. Oh, every digital artist's worst nightmare right there. So, yes. Nose shape. Head. Head shape. Mouth. Placement. Eyes. Okay. Now let's take a look at it. That's interesting. Okay, so it's like... by comparison to, like, anime faces, the eyes here are very small. To me. And it's so weird. But this definitely works. Your little smile. Quirk eyebrow. Yeah, that's a fox, alright. Right? I feel like you just need to, like, enlarge the eyes, you know? And, like, obviously they're just so, like, far down from the nose at certain angles. That one's getting somewhere. That's cute. Let's just do that. The eye sockets. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Okay. What's the next step? Oh, yeah. I got a mustelid. So this is a stoat. And I thought that it would be cute to make as a person. Okay. Opacity is going down. I'm going on to the different layer. But yes, I always thought stoats had very cute faces, so I thought that it would be fun to see if that translated over to humans at all. Oh my god, it looks like a baby. Okay, okay, wait. Use some refinement. Eyes are a little wide. Maybe not perfect. Oh my gosh. So, stoat, maybe not. Wide. Oh my gosh. It's cute though. Like, I would still consider a lot of these characters, like, they kind of remind me of, like, faces from, like, I guess, like, indie films, almost, where it's, like, there's a lot of them where it's, like, the characters' faces just seem a little stretched, and that's, like, the style that they're going for. It's fascinating. Okay. Next up, we have an otter. And this, as I mentioned before, would be brought up again because it just reminds me of the line from reading The Corpse Bride, where her parents are, like, looking at a picture of her, and they're like, and our daughter with the face of an otter in disgrace. It's like, she looks fine. She's just a little mousy. I always thought that was funny. Comparing Victoria to an otter. And I guess now we can see. The nose comes in, as does the mouth. I think I can see what they were talking about. Like, if we were to just stop... if we were to stop there, like, I could see, like, with the small chin... It definitely gives a burden-esque vibe. But that's really about it. God, I'm just realizing how close as humans our eyes are together and just how huge they are. Because, like, this works. This definitely works, but their eyes are just like... Alright. God. Beans! So our last experiment for today is to see if the true face theory can apply to Furb. I think that it will. I think that it will pretty well because they're made to be kind of emotive and relatable, and I think that means that they have a very cannily human face. So, or very uncannily human face. Because we like to look at ourselves. And it's already pretty stylized, so... Now, they don't have a nose. So, where... Like... If I were to think about it, like, obviously, like a beak, the nose would be, like, here. So, maybe, like... I mean, really, this whole, like, area... Right? And then that's sort of the nose lip area. And then the eyes would just be massive by comparison. I think we found it. I think we found the blueprint, guys. It's not cats. It's not dogs. It's not stoats or otters. It's Furby. Although Furby is based off of our blueprint, so that actually makes sense to some degree. It's just a very stylized, almost human face. Which maybe is what makes them so creepy to some people, is that they look kind of like a person, if you think about it a little too hard. But yeah. Like, again, this is really like, I guess, like, yeah, this is really hard to differentiate, because, again, they don't really have a nose. Bird-wise, I guess I said that the nostrils would be about there at the top of the beak. So, and then of course they've got that third eye. Can't not include that. Alright. But I think I'm gonna go and try and draw these a little bit better and talk about them a little bit further as I go on. Try and make little characters out of them. But I will I'll move over to speed paint for that because I'm sure I've already been here a while. So yeah. I'll see you there. So while I was drawing these, I finally realized what the faces reminded me of. Klasky Chupo characters. Not so much as like with Rugrats because they have bigger eyes, but because Told by Ginger and Wild Thornberries, that sort of like wide and long face structure suits a lot of these characters that I made. I really kept it simple with a lot of these portraits. I tried to base the hair a bit off of the rest of the animal's profile. So Tulsi gets a short and spiky haircut in both of hers, although the second one gave me a bit more of a regal vibe, so I made it more pulled back. After finishing them, I do think that they look kind of similar. I think it's funny that Tulsi's big old nose made it into her. She's always had a very prominent nose for a kitty. I decided to make Callie look a bit older, at least middle-aged, because she is an old lady, and also constantly has big heck-off energy with like every other living creature beside humans, so she's got a bit of a grumpier expression. I do think the front-facing expressions here turned out a bit more like I may have expected them to. Grim definitely looks a bit more baby and pretty consistent between the two photos I referenced. Zero looks a bit like a shark. The fox's face is just a little bit too long but cute. I also tried to give her that sort of fun fox eye makeup that goes in front of the eyes, but I don't know if that really helped. She still looks really cool though. The stoat and the otter actually turned out really similar, and both seemed to just have absolutely no thoughts going on in those heads. The Furby was definitely my favorite, if only for expression. That picture I took of Beans was already supposed to have then perish energy, and the character only amplified it. He looks like the evilest toddler now. After lining, I didn't really feel like going in with color or just trying to figure out any color palettes for this, so I shaded them in with some relatively pastel colors, and I think it turned out a lot more cool. Shading definitely does bring out more of the face, so I knew I wanted to render these at least somewhat. But these were some of my attempts at the cat theory and some other animals just for the heck of it. Let me know if you want to see more of this or a different approach or any other fun art challenges, and of course you can subscribe to catch those in the future. I literally hit 100 the day that I wrote the script, and it was like overnight, so I am completely stunned at the moment. I'm really stoked for this channel's future. At that though, I'm going to leave this here, and I'll see y'all next time.